Good morning, everybody. We've heard over the last half hour from Stephen and Paul what we should be doing if we engage with media. And over the next 15 minutes, we can contrast and compare how our BBC coverage of the Babbage platform actually fares against. So what we did have a few weeks ago, the opportunity to invite BBC camera team who produced live coverage from the Babbage field for 3 days. And I'm going to run you through basically how it came about, what it takes in terms of preparation, what it means working with the media, the results we have achieved, and a quick summary at the end. So the opportunity came about quite simply because we've been contacted by the BBC, and they were looking for a story, an E&P industry story about life on an offshore facility for their BBC Look East news program. It was a request for a live program for 3 days. The camera team was coming out, and they wanted to do some filming, some interviews. And they were interested in an industry story. The industry story about basically what does the industry do? What does it contribute to the region? What does it mean for the people who are working there? What does it mean, really, life on board of an offshore facility? And they want to see what is the skills requirement to be off there. So we're really interested in the people and the human aspect of that story. So next question is, what does it take with respect to preparing? And we as an oil and gas industry, we are used to preparing projects. When you run an oil and gas project, it takes X years from exploration to development into production, easily 3, 5, 7, 10 years, depending on the size of the project. If we are putting a pipeline into the ground, it takes a lot of time and preparation, integrating a lot of different strands to make it really work. And working with the media, is exactly the same story. So it takes a little bit time. And the easy answer would have been for us to say no. We're not going to engage, it's too risky, we're not going to do it. But we said, no, we're not going to do that. We take a different approach. We said yes. So it took us about 2 months lead time to engage and prepare with the BBC to understand what is their objective. What do they try to get out from a visit on a platform? The next step, and then there's a lot of practical aspects. We are proud, and it's part of our vision, to produce oil and gas safely, which means when a camera team comes offshore, they're not being treated any different to anybody else visiting an offshore facility. So they have to go through offshore survival training. There's technical visit offshore required. We need to be able to transmit live coverage filming from a facility. Helicopter filming needs to be arranged. PPE needs to be organized. Agreements with the rig. We are currently drilling additional wells in the field. Helicopter company needs to be done. Accommodation needs to be prepared, and the whole logistics teams need to be informed. Everything needs to be done. That takes time. In addition to that, we need to think about what messages do we want to share with the BBC. We need to develop those messages. And again, it's no different to any project we're doing. We need to prepare, we need to think about what we're trying to achieve. But the most important aspect is try to understand what the media is interested in. What is their objective? So, how do we went about it? We said, okay, we do have an open door policy in our company. We are proud. We have nothing to hide. And in order to demonstrate that, we say, okay, fine. We identify people who can speak with the BBC, and we identify those people who are best suited to speak to them. The number of topics identified the BBC wanted to get information about. We said, fine, we find you, the drilling engineers, the other engineers, any HSE, anybody you're interested in to give you their story, because we believe the special experts we have in our company are best suited to give you the answer. But that's only the technical aspect. In addition to that, we need to prepare the messages. And any messages have to be prepared so that it's useful for consumption to a wider audience. In our industry, we're quite often used to thinking EMP, and we assume that everybody understands EMP lingo. If you take media coverage, you go to the outside, we need to reach a broad audience. And reaching that broad audience means we need to have a message which is understandable by that audience. For example, gas from the Babbage platform gives you energy for about 1,000 houses every day. Is a message everybody understands. We also want to get across that we are a technology-driven industry, that we have a long-term commitment to the UKCS. Yeah? And our spokespeople we trained for media coverage. We made them equipped, so they're not afraid to stand up, talk to the media, and stand up in front of a camera. What they bring with them day in, day out is their technical competence. Yeah? What we have to provide them is with the media training so we can match those two and stand up in front of a camera. We also have a story to tell. Yeah? We have a long-term commitment to the UKCS. And the E.ON EMP has developed strongly over the last 7-10 years, invested more than 7 billion in the industry, and currently produce about 160,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day. A strong position in the North Sea, active in 4 countries, so we've developed quite nicely, both as operators, non-operator. Yeah? And with the BBC offshore, it was given an opportunity to provide insight into our company, yeah? And demonstrate our technical skills, promote our industry, yeah? And general give an impression of what we are about. I talked about media preparation. Yeah? So we identified spokespeople. Yeah? All across the company, we have people working on our projects, and the people we nominated are actually working on the Babbage platform. They do a real job day in, day out. We prepared them, yeah, and then they engaged with the BBC. So, when we have to learn about working with the media, it's first about journalist integrity. So the journalists are bound, and it's something we need to understand. It's quite critical. They're bound to tell the story how they see it, not how we would like them to see it. Yeah? And that is quite an important aspect. Yeah? So we need to expect the story to be told through the eyes of the journalist. Yeah? As I said earlier, we need to adapt our story to an audience outside EMP. And what is written here quite flippantly is that journalists are people too. Yeah? Journalists act with integrity, they have an interest. Yeah? When we engage in our projects day in, day out, yeah? We treat people with respect, treat them seriously and say, what are you about? Yeah? How can we work together to make something happen? On that basis, if we engage with journalists, as we've done here with the BBC, we had a very good outcome, as I will show you shortly. Yeah? The key to success here is preparation. As I said at the beginning, identify the objectives of the media. Prepare your messages, prepare your people, and then we shouldn't be afraid of being able to answer difficult questions. And saying no is an answer too. Only because a question has been posted, it does not mean that we have to answer it. So, what was the result? We've been a bit fortuitous about when the story was launched, because at the time was a cold spell, and it went through the media about shortage of supply at the time. So there was a lucky break. Could not have been planned any better. If you take back 2 months lead time, it just panned out to be at the right time. Then the story about what happens on the North Sea, on the Babbage platform, was a very good connection to the shortage of gas, saying, yes, we're doing something about it. It was very positively received. Yeah? But it was not only the story about the dash for gas. As I said at the beginning, the objective of the BBC was to understand, to get an insight into what life on a platform is about, yeah? About the human aspect, the people story behind it. We provided that. The telephone box, by the way, is operational and safe. Yeah? And we provided faces. Yeah? This is our OIM on the Babbage platform. He stood up in front of the camera and told his story. And that's all there is about. He was fully prepared, And he did an excellent job. Now, that was the BBC coverage seen on TV. What we need to be aware of is the impact of social media. And the two BBC journalists, John Newton and Sean Whitmore, basically, they have Twitter accounts, and they posted pictures of their work offshore on Twitter. The impact of that, you can see here. There's a Facebook site on the BBC Look East Facebook page. Again, it's a human aspect of the story. But we need to be very much aware of the multiplication effect the tweets have, of about 50 tweets with about 3,300 followers. Yeah? And then the retweets through organizations like Oil and Gas UK and other organizations. All of a sudden, you reach 80,000 people with impressions from the published platform. So all the work we're doing has a much wider effect. It's not only the TV coverage and the radio, it's also the social media, which reaches our story. So, overall, 2 months preparation, 1 week stay, 3 days live coverage, had a summary in terms of media coverage, as you can see on this slide. I've been in national news 4 times, national radio, the BBC website, and the social websites. Yeah? It's a very good, very positive message we've been able to put out with our story. So, we seize the opportunity for us to work with the BBC. Yeah? And the BBC has been excellent working with us. We defined objectives, and what the BBC actually shown and transmitted from the platform was spot on about what we discussed before. It made life offshore accessible, yeah, to people who normally don't see what it means about working offshore. It gave us the opportunity of profiling our E&P business. It's not to be forgotten. But again, it's a real life insight about what this industry is about. It is hard work, no question about it. 2 months preparation time. And to be honest, it's outside my normal comfort zone, because normally I work in an E&P project environment. This is something different. Yeah? And something not to be forgotten, get professional help. Yeah? We have a communication manager who's been excellent liaising with all the different people. Yeah? For an E.ON company, as an E&P company, it's not the easiest thing. We have a parent company in Germany. We have a big brand on the electricity and gas side in the UK, and we have an E&P business in the UK. We have Oil and Gas UK to liaise with, so there's a lot of work to be going on behind the scenes to make sure that we are fully aligned. So I can only advise, get professional help. We need to manage the expectations, so we need to engage with the reporters and align the objectives, prepare the spokespeople with the messages, yeah, but also provide media training. As a result, timing worked to our advantage. Fine, we've been lucky in that respect. The spokespeople and the people offshore, they did a sterling job. This is fantastic. Yeah? Can't say it any differently. And internally, it has been a success because it made people proud working for a company on E&P. Thank you.